Arita, our poor MC who could not even get a single girlfriend his entire school life. Suddenly he gets the biggest birthday plot twist of his life. He learns that all 5 of his insanely beautiful sisters are not actually his real sisters. And from that moment, the universe decides to give this unlucky heir the most dramatic rom-com speed boost ever, as every sister starts catching feelings for him. But of course nobody wants to confess because this family treats emotional honesty like a forbidden skill. The story starts inside the massive Xianji mansion. The place was so luxurious and big that even the hallway probably has its own bank account. All 7 siblings live there together with a full squad of servants who handled everything from cooking to picking up Arita's dignity whenever he drops it. We see Arita, the 16-year-old eldest son, having breakfast with Cheyenne, his 15-year-old brother. Arita looks like a man who is suffering from emotional lag because he still cannot find a girlfriend even though he is the heir of the entire Xianji fortune. So, he starts interrogating Cheyenne about how he managed to get his girlfriend. Cheyenne just shrugs and says it happened naturally, which only makes Arita look more depressed. He keeps pushing like he was asking for cheat codes in GTA mission, and Cheyenne tells him to chill because being the eldest son does not mean he has to act like a desperate NPC. Cheyenne also asks about the girl Arita likes. Arita proudly says that he is taking small steps, which basically means doing absolutely nothing but stalking her from a safe distance like a scared cat. Cheyenne tries to pump him up and reminds him that he is the eldest son of the Xianji family and could get any girl he wanted. But Arita does not trust his luck because his luck has been on vacation since birth. Right then the 5 sisters enter the room like a K-pop idol group. The eldest daughter Bonri comes in first, followed by the second eldest Seiha, then Ukah, then Minami, and finally the youngest Katono. Before Arita can even hide his embarrassment, Ukah and Seiha instantly guess they were talking about his girlfriend problem. They start roasting him so aggressively that even the toast on the table starts feeling sorry for him. And just when Arita thinks it cannot get worse, they keep adding fuel to his suffering like they are auditioning for a roasting competition. Cheyenne suddenly decides to level up the chaos and tells everyone that Arita was praising Ukah's figure. The moment Ukah hears that, she gets furious. She does not even bother arguing. She just sends her dog to bite Arita like she was launching a targeted missile. Meanwhile, Arita was suffering on one side, and on the other side his sisters were laughing at his misery like it is their daily entertainment show. Whenever he tries to explain himself, no one listens because why listen to the truth when roasting him was more fun? During this chaos, we hear about something called the gaming room incident, which was apparently so shocking that even the servants whisper about it. The family starts talking about how even having dirty thoughts about one of the sisters is unacceptable and forbidden. But Bonri, the eldest sister, just casually pokes at all their weak points one by one and shuts the whole debate down like a moderator ending a war. Then Minami, the athletic powerhouse, says that their big brother is actually a good person. Arita gets so emotional that he immediately tries to hug her like he just won the lottery. Minami reacts on pure instinct and knocks him out with a punch. We learn she is preparing to become an Olympic athlete, taking intense physical training, so her reflexes were deadly. Poor Arita got hit with main character damage. Ukah asks if everyone is free on Saturday because they were planning to celebrate Katono's birthday. Cheyenne says he is busy because he has a date, but nobody cares because these sisters treat his existence like background noise. The next day at the train station, all eyes turn on the 5 sisters. Seeing them together in public is like witnessing a rare celestial event. Each sister even had her own fan club. Meanwhile, Cheyenne was also popular among the girls. And Arita, well, he was famous among the boys for his muscles and nothing else. The universe really gave him the worst trade deal. Then the scene shifts to the school's restroom where Cheyenne and Arita were talking. Everyone sees them walking around with their sisters and assumes their life is perfect, but nobody knows how much they suffer at home. Even when the sisters beat them up, they cannot fight back. Their parents always take the daughter's side, which is why the 2 brothers have been bullied since childhood. We then get more details about the sisters. Bonri is a freshman at a prestigious university training to become a nurse. Seiha is the president of the science club and ranks first in the entire school. She is super cool and talented, which is why she has a huge fan base. Next is Ukah, who outshines everyone in both studies and sports. She is a star of the swimming and track teams and will probably become the next student council president. Then comes Minami, a prodigy tennis player who has won the junior high championship 3 times in a row and is on her way to becoming an Olympic athlete. Finally, the youngest sister Katono is extremely cute and introverted but also very popular. Cheyenne then casually drops a bombshell and reveals that Katono once confessed her love to Arita. Arita panics like someone opened his embarrassing search history and says it was just sibling stuff. The story jumps to reveal the girl that Arita actually likes, Lala. Later at home, Arita wonders if he should send a friend request to Lala. After staring at the screen for a while, he cancels it like a coward, thinking what if she rejects him. Right then Ukah enters his room to borrow his notes. She sees his notebook and was shocked because everything was written neatly. This was rare for Arita because normally his mind is messy. Suddenly Arita's eyes drift to the wrong place and he tells Ukah that she should wear clothes that cover her up more. Ukah replies that this is her house and they used to bathe together when they were kids, so there is nothing he has not seen before. Arita was left speechless because his brain has officially crashed. Then Ukah asks him about the girl he likes and says she knows it is Lala. Arata gets furious thinking Cheyenne must have told her, but Ukah tries to help him by sending a friend request to Lala, but Arata stops her immediately. This makes Ukah angry and she scolds him harshly, storming out like a queen exiting the stage. Meanwhile, we see Katono looking at the family photo and staring at Arata like she is trying to solve a mystery. The next day after school, Arata was walking around deep inside his own dramatic thoughts. He wonders what his life would be like if he had not been born into the Xianji family, or if he did not have 5 sisters. Basically, he was questioning his entire existence. Then he suddenly sees Lala in front of him. Unfortunately, she was with another guy, which hits Arata like a punch straight to his ego. The scene shifts back home. Arata steps out of his room because it was Katono's birthday party. He sees Ukah dressed beautifully. She tells him that their dad always says if you are not dressed properly, you will get nothing. Then she compliments Arata, which shocks him because compliments are rare in his life. Everyone gathers at the dining table. Arata is still lost in thoughts about his future, marriage, kids, and probably how long he will stay single. Then a fight breaks out between Minami and Ukah because Minami misplaced Ukah's earbuds. Everyone starts panicking and tries to calm them down, but Arata suddenly yells and tells them to stop because they are siblings. His loud voice instantly embarrasses both girls and the mood becomes cheerful again. Right then their father enters looking very happy to see the whole family together. As they are about to eat, he says he has something important to announce. He explains that he decided long ago to reveal this truth on Katono's 15th birthday. He says he loves them all deeply, but they are not real siblings. The room goes silent as everyone was frozen in shock. He continues casually like he just announced the weather. He reveals that all of them are adopted except Minami and Shine, who are twins and blood related. He says he and their mother made this decision together and from now on he will never lie to them again. He tells them to continue celebrating the birthday, but everyone was still stunned. After dinner, the siblings gather together. Minami was acting normal because nothing bothers this girl except sports. They talk about how even if they are not blood related, after growing up together they truly feel like real siblings. They agree that they cannot blame their father, but he could have picked a better timing than a birthday party to drop an emotional bomb. Seiha asks Bonri if she remembers anything because Katono came home when Bonri was 5 years old. Bonri says she does not remember much from her childhood, but her expression shows that she actually remembers something and just does not want to talk about it. Everyone starts joking around again. Bonri says that even without blood, they are no less than a real family. Then everyone returns to their rooms. Arata was still trying to process everything. His brain was buffering, and as he walks to take a bath, he accidentally sees his sister's clothes and gets awkward. He ignores them and enters the bathroom. But when he goes in, Katono was already there. They both freeze in shock like two cats caught staring at each other. Arata immediately runs outside and asks her if she is a ninja and why she makes no noise. He is about to leave when Katono stops him and says she needs help. Arata starts helping her bathe and complains that she is already a third-year student yet still needs help. He tells her that her classmates will laugh if they find out. He starts giving her instructions on how to bathe properly. Suddenly Katono says she likes his strength. Arata had no idea how to respond, so he just tells her not to stay too long in the water and tries to escape the awkwardness. Elsewhere, Ukah and Shine were talking about how today felt like a full-blown adventure. They feel bad for Katono because she learned such a big truth on her birthday. They decide it is their responsibility to support her as she is the youngest. Back in the bathroom, Katono suddenly hugs Arata from behind. This scares him so badly that he almost jumps out of his skin. Meanwhile, Ukah hears something about sibling marriage and gets disgusted. Shine clarifies that he was only giving an example and that sibling marriage is not even legal. Shine starts talking nonsense as usual, which gives Ukah the chills. She tells him that Arata was giving her weird looks earlier and even commented on her clothes. Shine was shocked because even he knows that Arata's usual bravery level is 0, so hearing that Arata commented on anything feels suspicious. Then, Ukah asks him what happened between Arata and Katono in the gaming room because she saw Arata pinning Katono down. Shine says he knows the whole situation, but it is a secret and Arata told him not to say anything. Ukah immediately jumps to her own dramatic theory. She says maybe Arata's lust overflowed like some broken anime villain and he started making moves on Katono, but she is sure there is more to the story. Shine stays silent at first but eventually tells her the truth. The truth was that Katono confessed her love to Arata and then forcefully held him down. Ukah was completely shocked and starts shouting like someone unplugged her sanity. Shine calms her down and tells her that Arata obviously rejected Katono. Ukah finds it hard to believe since she never imagined Katono having feelings for Arata. Shine tries to explain that kids at that age often mistake respect for love. Ukah snaps at him and says he is only 1 year older than Katono, so he should stop pretending to be some wise old man. Shine had nothing left to say, but the real problem now is that Katono knows they are not real siblings. And who knows what she will do next. We then see Katono confess her love again to Arata, but he tries to reject her gently. She asks him if she is a bad girl. She even says she researched that step-siblings can legally marry. Arata tries to keep his brain from melting and tells her that is not the issue and that she is a wonderful girl. But during puberty maybe people often confuse respect with love. Even though they are not blood related, he is still her big brother and it is his responsibility to protect her. He walks away, leaving Katono standing there thinking about how long puberty is supposed to last. Just then we see someone else outside the bathroom who overheard everything, but we do not know who. The scene shifts to their father standing in front of their late mother's photo saying he has fulfilled his promise. Then Bonri appears behind him. On the other side, Arata returns to his room and finds Seiha sitting there like someone ready to devour his soul. He asks her what she was doing in his room. She ignores his question and asks him where he was. Arata gets nervous and says he was just walking around, but Seiha does not believe him. Arata panics and asks why she is in his room because that seems like the bigger question here. Seiha does not answer. Instead she moves close to him, pushes him down, and climbs on top of him. Arata freaks out completely and screams asking what she is doing. Seiha says this is going to be their top secret and clings tightly to him. Arata's brain explodes. After Katono, now Seiha too. Why is this happening? But then Seiha reveals the truth. She saw Arata and Katono in the bathroom earlier, and she was only testing Arata to make sure he will not do anything inappropriate with Katono. Arata panics even harder and asks how much she saw. Seiha tells him she saw everything. She even repeats some of the things he said, which makes Arata want to evaporate from embarrassment. He realizes that she just wants to protect her sister but wonders if she could have chosen literally any other method. Seiha then gives him a lecture explaining that sibling marriage is illegal in their country due to social customs and biological risks because children born from close relatives can be weak. Now that their father revealed they are not blood related, Katono might not listen to words alone. Technically, from a physical perspective, it is possible for them to marry because they are not blood related. Arata was completely shocked by this information. Then Seiha casually says that at least one thing is clear: Arata is normal, and she walks away. After everything that happened, Arata lies on his bed thinking like his brain just ran a marathon. So much chaos in one single day. For 16 years he lived as a sibling to everyone, and suddenly the universe said actually no, plot twist. None of you are blood related, and opened a new romantic route for these naughty sisters. The next morning, Arata gets ready for school, but as he walks out, he sees Bonri dressing Katono in her nursing uniform and she starts teasing him. Arata gets irritated and Bonri even pretends to cry for extra drama. After some chaos and friendly roasting, everyone heads out for school. At school, Arata and Cheyenne discuss how insane yesterday was, but their sisters were acting like everything was normal. After classes, Arata was about to leave, but he was still stuck thinking about the truth reveal last night. Just then Minami appears and Arata notices that she was cheerful as always, like nothing happened yesterday. They walk together and Arata compliments her. She says that she is just following her passion and even compliments Arata for being good at sports. Arata denies it, but suddenly 3 of Minami's fangirls rush over, shower her with compliments and ask for her autograph. Arata stands there invisible as usual. After the fangirls leave, Arata suggests that they should go to karaoke instead of heading home. Minami looks nervous at first but then admits the real reason she is off from club activities is because she failed her aptitude test. Arata tells her that he will tutor her. Bro is on mission to raise another sister. At karaoke, Arata tries to teach her. Minami says she is understanding everything, but when he tests her, she cannot answer a single question. Then Minami suddenly presses the mic and starts singing a whole dramatic song about how she never wants to study and only wants to play tennis forever. Arata bursts out laughing and her energy was so positive that he finally relaxes. He thinks how cheerful Minami stays no matter what, so there is no need to worry about her. After leaving karaoke, Arata sees Lala ahead and instantly hides behind Minami like a ninja wannabe. Minami notices everything, and after Lala leaves, Arata tells Minami that she should focus more on studying. Minami says yesterday was too unexpected. Arata asks her opinion on the whole situation and Minami says that she is curious about who her real parents are and worried about her little sister. Then she casually says that since Arata is not her real big brother anymore, she could start calling him senpai now. Arata freezes because hearing that from Minami hits different. We all know where this is going. She then tells him that even if the girl he likes already has a boyfriend, he should not lose hope. Arata panics and asks how she knows. Minami says she heard it from Ukah. Arata almost explodes hearing that his entire love life is getting leaked around the house like a group chat screenshot. Minami compliments him a little, but Arata reminds her that once they go home, she still has to study, which was basically Minami's nightmare. The next morning, Arata runs into Katono. They say good morning to each other and that is it. Arata worries that she might still be upset after everything. Just then, Seiha appears and scolds him for daydreaming. They start talking about Katono, but before it goes anywhere, Minami joins them. She reminds Arata about how she beat him several times in the game yesterday and now she calls him senpai. Seiha gets shocked and says senpai is supposed to be someone mature, and Arata dies inside after hearing her. They head to school and when Arata arrives, he spots his crush and immediately hides again. Ukah sees him and tells him to just confess already and stop being a stalker. Arata says but she already has a boyfriend. Ukah laughs and says he got rejected even before confessing. Then she walks off to her classmates while Arata stands there with emotional damage. He watches his crush surrounded by people. Everyone seems to like her and Arata wishes that they could see her real personality and not just the cute image she shows everyone. Meanwhile, Ukah's classmates start talking about Arata. They hype him up like he is some mythical handsome creature with insane muscles. They even ask Ukah for permission to confess to him. Hearing this, Ukah panics and tells them not to. She says Arata is completely crazy and spends all day obsessing over his body. Which is true. Arata was basically a living protein shake. The next day, all the siblings go to the amusement park to celebrate Katono's birthday. Everyone was excited like they just escaped from exam week. Minami gets hungry, so Bonri says she will go get food and drags Arata along with her. After they get the food, they return to see that everyone else has vanished. Arata tries calling each sibling, but nobody answers. Bonri shrugs and says they should just go on a date by themselves. Arata stutters hearing the word date and asks what about the food. Next thing we know, Arata was carrying all the food like a delivery boy. While walking, Bonri suddenly holds Arata's hand and his brain short circuits on the spot and things become awkward real fast. While Bonri, of course, teases him because embarrassing Arata was her best hobby. They walk around the park and Arata notices everyone was staring at them because Bonri was looking extremely beautiful and also she was very popular, and he looked like her struggling bodyguard. They rode a roller coaster and Bonri was screaming with joy and Arata looked like he was seeing his life flash before his eyes. After the ride, Arata tries calling the others again, but on the other side, the siblings were busy enjoying a show and ignored their phones. Cheyenne finally calls back, but Arata missed it because he was already on another ride. Eventually, the siblings connect and learn that they are too far away from each other. This means Arata and Bonri will be stuck together the whole day. Arata already knows Bonri was going to say it is a date. Evening arrives. Arata and Bonri were sitting together at the food court. They talk about how they have not met the others yet, but they are strangely not worried. Bonri starts eating the leftover food because hunger always wins. Arata begins having flashbacks of everything that happened recently. He asks Bonri how she feels about the whole not being real sibling situation. Bonri says she was surprised too and even talked to their father about it. She asks Arata if that is why he looks so down lately. Arata thinks that he cannot tell her about the embarrassing incidents with Katono and Seiha, so he just says he was feeling uneasy, but he hopes that nothing changes between them. Bonri becomes happy and praises him. She even recalls the times when Arata used to cry to her whenever Ukah bullied him. Arata regrets that she still remembered that while he is in high school now. They start having grown-up conversations that Arata barely understands. Suddenly, a little girl bumps into them and spills her juice. Arata jumps in front of Bonri to block it and ends up getting soaked. The little girl panics, but Arata tells her it is fine. Bonri says he did not need to go that far, but Arata says he wants to protect her too because he is her little brother. Bonri gets emotional because her baby brother was finally leveling up. The family finally reunites and everyone was shocked to see Arata soaked like a wet chicken. They continue exploring and when they reach the bridge, Ukah acts like a princess while Minami plays the prince. Meanwhile, Arata, Cheyenne, and Katono head to the bathroom. The others start having a secret meeting. Seiha tells them about the bathroom incident with Katono, which shocks everyone. But the real shocker is when Seiha reveals that she tested Arata and he passed because he showed no physical reaction. The girls were confused and ask how she tested him. When they hear the details, they were even more shocked. Ukah asks why she did not use literally any other method. They talk about Arata and Katono and realize they cannot blame them because the truth was dropped on them like a nuclear bomb. The reason behind all this mess is obviously that they are not blood related. Bonri tells them not to take it too seriously because Katono is still a child. Bonri explains that when she talked to their dad about their background, she learned the truth that all of them are orphans. None of them knows who their real parents are. She suggests that for now they should just observe things and not panic. Just then the rest of the siblings return and the girls immediately drop the topic. Later the siblings go shopping. Arata was waiting outside the store when he suddenly spots his crush with her boyfriend. His heart suffers critical damage. At that same moment Ukah walks out of the shop and finds Arata extremely nervous. They end up taking a walk together. Ukah tells him that she needs to talk. She says that until 3 days ago they were twins, but now everything has changed. Arata instantly says that he still sees her as his twin. Ukah replies that if he keeps denying the truth he is going to look like a fool. She reminds him of the time when they were little and believed they had telepathy. They used to think the same way and even rock paper scissors always ended in ties. Everyone used to say the two of them really were twins. Then Ukah suddenly confessed that she too loves him, and our boy, Arata, freezes there like a statue who forgets how to breathe. Then we see a flashback to a conversation between Arata and Cheyenne at school. Cheyenne asks if Arata sees their sisters as just ordinary girls now that they know they are not blood related. It technically means they are all close female friends now. Katono had even confessed already. Arata refuses the idea and asks Cheyenne if the same applies to him. Cheyenne replies that he already has a girlfriend. Since he uses his girlfriend's first name, Arata asks if something happened between them. Cheyenne says there is always something happening. The story returns to the present. After confessing, Ukah says she only wanted to be honest. She says she was happy that she was his sister at some point. She also says she found out what happened between Arata and Katono from Cheyenne and praises him for handling it well because Katono is still young and it is not her fault. And after giving our boy a heart trauma, Ukah leaves. Arata starts thinking about everything she said and wonders what nonsense she just dropped on him and if she is really worried about their future relationship. He remembers Cheyenne's words and starts panicking with all kinds of strange thoughts. Meanwhile, Ukah was somewhere else regretting that she said all that. The next morning, Arata was training and Minami enters unexpectedly. Arata was shocked because she always wakes up late. He wonders why she was up so early. Then we see a flashback. Last night she came out and saw Ukah confessing to Arata. She was shocked but did not interrupt. Back in the present, Minami was confused about whether she should ask Arata about it. Her curiosity was eating her alive. She gathers courage and asks if something is going on between him and Ukah. Arata does not understand the question at first. Minami then says never mind and tells him not to worry. She leaves saying she will exercise in the evening. Arata was left thinking about why she asked that. He was about to shower when he sees Seiha's reflection in the mirror. He gets shy and tells her to lock the door. Seiha says that they have been together for years and he still gets flustered even though he has seen her many times. Arata thinks that his sisters are going completely crazy. Then he thinks about how Seiha has not changed at all even after the whole adoption reveal. Later, Arata was in his room when Bonri enters. She tells him that she was visiting her little brother's room after almost 2 years and praises him for keeping it clean. Arata wonders why she is there. Then she finds an article on his laptop about the perfect girlfriend and teases him. After that, she reveals the real reason she came. She asks Arata to go on a date with her. We see them at a mobile shop because Arata has been wanting to buy a new phone but never got the chance. Bonri suddenly clings to Arata again, which embarrasses him. Then she casually says they should go to a hotel after dinner and stay overnight. Arata freaks out and tells her to stop talking nonsense immediately. Arata starts thinking about how Bonri always does weird things that send his brain into panic mode. Just then, a sales lady approaches and says they will get a discount if they buy the phones as a couple with a monthly plan. Bonri gets excited and agrees instantly. Arata immediately refuses because he has zero desire to be involved in a fake couple promo with his sister. After shopping, they go for a walk. Arata keeps thinking about how Bonri loves teasing him. They stop to eat ice cream. Bonri asks if something was troubling him. Arata avoids answering and instead talks about the family again. Bonri says she is happy to have such a strong little brother and tells him to always come to her if he ever has a problem. Hearing this, Arata feels embarrassed but also a little proud. At home, Katono was scrolling through family photos, paying extra attention to the ones with Arata in them. Meanwhile, Bonri uploads a picture of her and Arata enjoying ice cream in the sisters' chat. Katono feels a little jealous but also happy to see them having fun. She even saves the photo like a secret treasure. Back at the park, Bonri asks Arata where they should go next, but she receives a message and says she has to leave for work. Arata was surprised and blurts out asking if she does not have any guy she can date instead of dragging him around. Bonri is shocked and threatens him to never say something so stupid again. Then we see Bonri calling Minami. She tells Minami that nothing seemed unusual. Minami was shocked because she was sure that she heard Ukah confessing yesterday. She cannot understand how everything can be normal since a sibling love confession is a huge deal. She messages Bonri that maybe she misheard and maybe nothing happened between Arata and Ukah, but she accidentally sends the message to the group chat. She panics, deletes it immediately, and hopes no one saw it. Unfortunately, someone else did, and that person looked very shocked. The next scene shows dinner and Arata notices Seiha not eating and lost in thought. Even after dinner, she looked distracted. Arata meets her and says she can tell him if she has a problem. After saying this, he feels awkward, but Seiha becomes happy and says he is getting into the flow. Then Seiha suggests playing Twister. Arata wonders why she even bought that game. Seiha explains that when she went to Arata's room earlier, she got emotionally overwhelmed and if she does not clear her feelings now, it could become a risk since her university exams are coming soon. Arata was shocked and asks how she can say such things. Seiha says if her feelings go beyond a normal brother-sister relationship, it will become a huge problem. So it is better to sort things out now. And because she is older, he should not mind helping her. Arata's brain goes into panic mode thinking she also likes him. Before he can react, Seiha starts the game. Arata says he never agreed to play, but Seiha reminds him how she helped him during finals, so he has to cooperate now. The game begins and Seiha gets very close to him. Arata gets uncomfortable and tells her not to get too close, but she says that she is just following the rules. The game gets intense and Seiha blocks all his routes, cornering him. Now Arata had no choice but to touch her. He wanted to surrender, but Seiha refuses and says surrendering will not be good for him. Now it is Arata's turn. He has to place his foot under Seiha's leg, which puts them in a very awkward position. Seiha begins talking like a philosopher. She says true happiness comes from winning but also from love and peace. Then she starts talking about dopamine release during dating and what happens after dating. Arata gets mentally traumatized, but Seiha was still going on. She talks about the human body, physical relationships, and marriage. She says that trust is what ties everything together. She admits she does not fully understand love or trust. Then Seiha, who was exhausted from twisting herself like a pretzel, suddenly falls on top of him. him. Arita complains that she could have fallen to the side at least. Seiha says she was too tired to care. Then she calmly says that her verification is complete even though Arita was not very cooperative. Arita finally realizes that she was overthinking something he said earlier, but Seiha never listens when she gets into scientist mode, but before leaving, she thanks him. After she leaves, Arita starts thinking if she was making fun of him, who even plays Twister to verify their feelings. He gets frustrated and shouts loudly. Right then Ukah appear and ask why he was shouting. She says she heard Seiha's voice from his room and asks what they were talking about. Arita says nothing much. Ukah tells him to have some fun and suggests they play a game. Before starting, Ukah says she practiced 30 hours a week. Arita remembers how he used to beat her when they were kids and Ukah used to trap him in wrestling deadlocks. He remembers what Ukah said earlier and worries that he might be the only guy in the house still struggling with the adoption reveal. The game starts and Ukah destroys Arita 5-0. She teases him and Arita notices that she looks genuinely happy. He starts wondering if the game itself is that much fun or she is just happy beating him. During the game, Ukah gets very close to him and Arita notices her improvement and finally gets serious and defeats Ukah twice in a row. Ukah gets angry, traps him in a deadlock and tells him that if he surrenders she will let him go. Arita surrenders, but in his head he cannot stop thinking about how close they are. Suddenly he flips the situation and pins Ukah down. She instantly realizes what happened. Arita gets scared thinking she will hit him, but Ukah says it looks like he has grown up, but Arita has no idea what she means. Ukah leaves the room and hides her face in embarrassment, wondering why he becomes a big brother only at weird times. Meanwhile, Arita stands there confused. He does not understand why she said all that. He thinks about everything and shouts again in frustration. After he leaves, Katono quietly steps out of the closet. She saw everything and looked really shy, like she just witnessed something like forbidden love. The next day was a normal school day for all the siblings. At night, Arita meets his dad. His dad gave him a gift and asks how he was doing. Then he asks if Arita likes someone, which shocks Arita so much that he forgets how to breathe. The scene shifts back to the sisters who were watching a drama. A romantic confession happens on screen. Bonri loves it because the confession was happening in nature and looked beautiful. They were about to go to sleep when Katono suddenly stops them and says she likes Arita. Everyone says of course they already know that, but Katono corrects them. She says she wants to marry him. Since they are not real siblings, she sees all of them as her love rivals now. It is revealed that Katono was actually the happiest when she learned they were not blood related. The scene changes back to Arita talking to his dad. Arita asks why he needs to know all this. His dad says that because he is the eldest son of the Xianji family and eventually he will fall for someone. Arita asks why his dad married their mom. His dad says because she looked beautiful. Then he shares the real reason that their mom had a strong personality but was gentle like sunlight, which matched a weak person like him perfectly. Minami was also struggling as Katono's confession was replaying in her mind like a glitching video. She cannot focus on anything either, so she steps out for training. Right at that moment she runs into Arita. Seeing him makes her feel awkward and she cannot speak properly. She tries to escape by making excuses, but Arita can tell she was lying. He asks her directly what is going on. Minami freezes and her face turns bright red. Arita tells her that her national championship is coming up. If something is bothering her, she should talk to him because it might affect her performance. Minami tries to joke and says she is fine before leaving, but Arita suspects something is definitely wrong. Next we see Bonri feeding her dog. She scolds him that eating is fine, but he should also join Arita for jogging or he will get fat. Arita arrives just then and was surprised to see Bonri awake early. Bonri says that she had college work. Arita looks at the dog and jokes that he never jogs but never misses a meal. Bonri laughs and Arita says that they should reduce his food. The dog hears this and immediately starts chasing Arita. Cheyenne arrives and they decide to quickly finish breakfast since Bonri was running late. Meanwhile, the dog completely knocks Arita out like he was training to be a bulldog. The scene shifts to school, where Minami was practicing tennis. The other girls were fangirling and whispering how her skills have been improving, but inside, Minami was distracted by her thoughts about Katono. It affects her focus and her legs also seem to be hurting a little. During the break, the girls compliment her and ask how she plays so well. Minami answers like a child and no one understands anything, but they praise her anyway. Minami's senior now arrives and Minami playfully challenges her. They bet that whoever loses will buy juice. As expected, now loses, which annoys her. She says after the championship she will graduate, so Minami will need someone else to buy her juice. She jokes that she has already bought Minami so much juice. She says that when Minami becomes a champion in 5 years, she wants free tickets. Then she gets serious. She says that when she heard a middle school prodigy was joining their school, she thought Minami would be arrogant, but Minami turned out to be the opposite. She was hardworking and humble. Minami laughs hearing this and now says this is the first time she truly feels like they might win because until now their team always performed badly. Winning the national championship feels like a dream for a high schooler. Minami was surprised by her honesty. Then Minami teases her again and now gets angry and challenges her for another match. The scene shifts to the training area. Minami overhears a group of girls talking about Now. They say that Now did not receive any recommendation for university and might quit the club after the championship. championship. Her parents want her to get a job even though she loves tennis. Hearing the girls gossip in the hallway, Minami finally understands what her senpai was truly feeling. She realizes that Nao was secretly fighting her own battles. A flashback appears and we see the first time Minami met Nao during a match where Minami crushed her without mercy. She remembers the good moments they shared afterward and decides she will not show any weakness. She has to win the gold medal, not for herself, but for Nao. The scene shifts back to the gym. Minami continues training hard even though her leg was still bothering her. Just then, Arata enters the gym looking serious and Minami gets nervous the moment she sees him. Arata asks if next Saturday is her national championship. Minami nods and Arata calmly declares that he will train her. Minami was shocked and says she already has enough coaches and he does not need to worry about her performance. Arata says that he knows she is injured. Minami freezes and tries to brush it off and smiles, saying he must be misunderstanding. Arata says she is only making it more obvious. He says the maid saw her rebandaging herself and that explains why she has been acting strange. Minami thinks to herself that this is only one of the reasons. Her mind flashes back to when Katono confessed in front of everyone. Arata checks Minami's leg. He presses different points but Minami does not react to any pain. He was surprised and Minami reacts playfully like a child. Arata thinks she must have incredible endurance and flexibility from childhood training. Then his brain momentarily wanders into weird thoughts and he quickly catches himself and tries to calm down. He cannot stop thinking about how pretty and popular Minami is. He asks if she told her club about the injury. Minami shakes her head and says she does not want to disappoint anyone. Arata says if she keeps pushing, the injury might worsen. But Minami says she already has a backup plan and she wants to win the championship for someone special. Hearing this makes Arata happy, so he does not force her but still advises her to go to the doctor. They stretch together for a while. Arata starts to feel that Minami was getting a little too close and becomes a little awkward. Later, Arata heads back to his room and suddenly Katono appears. He was shocked because they have not properly talked since the bathroom incident. Arata wonders if something is bothering her. He tells her it is late and she should sleep. Katono suddenly asks if he was with Minami and if something is happening between them. Arata was shocked and doesn't understand why she was asking that. He wonders if she somehow learned about Minami's injury. He denies everything like a lying idiot and Katono becomes awkward and quietly walks away. In the next scene, Minami was in her match. Everyone praises her skills and her appearance. Minami remembers Nao's struggles and decides she will win the match no matter what. She remembers her training and feels confident. She wins but it was just the qualifier but everyone celebrates. Her senpai now thanks her. Later, everyone boards the bus. Meanwhile, Minami looked nervous and now notices her. Back at home, Arata helps Minami stretch and she tells him that after she told the club about her injury, they introduced her to a new trainer. Then the story jumps to the day of the finals. Early morning, Arata and Bonri were eating breakfast. Nobody has seen Minami. Arata asks Bonri where she is, but Bonri also does not know. After breakfast, Bonri, being naughty as usual, teases Arata. But he was stressed about Minami's match, so he loses his temper and yells at her. Just then, Seiha arrives asking about Minami as well because no one has seen her since morning. Everyone starts worrying about Minami. They search the house and suddenly discover her match shoes were still there. That was a clear sign something was wrong. Katono, Ukah, and Cheyenne also arrive, but none of them know where Minami was. This makes everyone even more tense. The atmosphere was so serious that even Arata, who usually remained calm for small things, was extra stressed. Just then, Minami casually walks in like nothing ever happened. Everyone was shocked. She sees all of them gathered and asks what they were doing. They ask about the championship and Minami calmly says not to worry because even if she arrives late, her fans will understand. Everyone was stunned because this was not Minami's usual excited energy. As Minami walks away, the siblings start whispering. Why is she acting like this? Arata starts thinking if this behavior is because of her injury. He rushes straight to her room. There he finds Minami eating chips like an animal who escaped from a zoo. The moment she sees Arata, she switches to her normal tone like nothing happened. Arata tells her he was not an idiot and asks what was going on. Minami laughs and says the team found out about her injury and now a substitute will play in her place. She says she is happy because now she finally gets a break and can focus on her future. Arata looks at her seriously and reminds her that she worked toward this for so long and she wanted to win not for herself but for someone else. Minami tries to explain calmly. She says that she is injured and if she competes, she will probably lose, so she has accepted it. Arata goes silent. He says all right and leaves, but he was not convinced. Something felt wrong. Minami's cheerful energy feels forced. Later, Cheyenne tells Arata that he wants to talk. In Cheyenne's room, Arata shares everything. Cheyenne reveals something from that morning. He heard someone crying in the yard. When he checked, it was Minami. He did not think much then, but now everything makes sense. Minami has been removed from the player list. She was pretending to be okay so no one worries. In reality, she is deeply hurt. We see Minami again. She looks like she has been crying. Then Arata enters her room and she was totally caught off guard. She did not expect him to walk in. The next scene shows everyone getting into a car. Bonri was driving and everyone was terrified because she just learned how to drive. She was super nervous and Ukah keeps yelling about the match starting starting in 20 minutes. They were literally moving slower than Arata's love life. Minami watches all of this. She thinks about how her siblings are doing everything for her, but she wonders if it is right for her to compete while injured. She remembers her teacher and now telling her not to compete as healing was more important. Minami speaks from her heart in the flashback. She says to Now that because of her she learned to truly enjoy tennis and she wants to win for her. Hearing her now was stunned and gets emotional. Back in the present, Arata finally speaks. He says he does not know if letting her compete is right, but if something goes wrong she must step back. And more importantly, she must stop lying to herself and to him. The match begins. Minami's team takes the court and it was disaster. They are losing badly, 40-0. That alone tells you how rough the situation was. Meanwhile, Minami's siblings were stuck in traffic. They panic because the match has already begun. Even if they run on foot, they will reach after the tournament ends and Minami graduates into a retirement home. Arata was equally stressed until he spots rental cycles. Without thinking, he grabs one with Minami and take off like two characters in a sports anime opening. Except Arata was already dying inside from pedalings. Meanwhile, Minami looks at Arata while he was pedaling like his life depends on it. She asks why he is doing so much for her. Why is he working so hard? Arata gasps for air and says it is because she is his sister. Honestly, he was so exhausted that his answer comes out like a dying whisper. Arata opens up and tells her that no matter what situation she is in, she always smiles. He says it is kind of foolish, but seeing her train every day, he knows she was incredibly hardworking and more positive than anyone else he has ever seen. He asks her to promise to be careful from now on and Minami quietly agrees. Then suddenly Minami walks into the court and everyone is shocked. Before anyone could say anything, Arata drops to his knees and begs the coach to let Minami play. He says this competition means everything to her and it is her future. Minami also requests with all her heart. Seeing their determination, Now, who was the first to oppose it, steps forward and requests the coach too. Meanwhile, the siblings finally arrive at the parking lot. Minami's singles match begins. She was nervous and her heart rate was faster than Arata's cycling speed. But then the scene cuts to evening. Minami stands in front of everyone and apologizes. She says she could not win. She says maybe if they used the original lineup they could have won. Everyone was stunned. Now steps forward and thanks her. She says it is because of Minami they made it this far. Her energy gave everyone confidence. Without her they would not have reached this stage. Then we see Arata find Minami sitting alone in a park. She looks exhausted mentally and physically, but she forces a smile and switches to her normal cheerful tone. She apologizes and says that everyone did so much for her but she still lost. She adds that people thanking her felt strange. If they had gotten angry maybe she would have felt better, but she was thankful that she played. Otherwise if she stayed home, she would have regretted it more, but now she had no regrets. But suddenly Arata hugs her tightly from behind. Minami freezes like her brain just crashed. Arata speaks softly and tells her to stop lying. If she is sad, she should cry. Minami finally lets her guard down. She asks what she should do. If she becomes the #1 tennis player in the world, will everyone forgive her? Should she buy them private jet tickets to watch her matches? What can she do so everyone forgives her? She keeps blaming herself. She says she practiced like an idiot for days and still lost. Then she breaks down and cries her heart out. She says she just wants to be strong. The next day we see that Minami was taking a bath. As she relaxes, her mind wanders to Arata. She remembers how he rode her to the stadium on a bicycle like a sweaty superhero. She remembers how he begged the coach to give her one more chance, and how he was the only one who told her not to hide her emotions. Thinking about all of this, Minami starts blushing in the bath and acting awkward. It is clear her feelings for Arata are growing into something forbidden. Meanwhile, Ukah was still furious about Minami's loss. She yells that Minami that she should have won and accuses the other team of cheating. Seiha tries to calm her, but Ukah insists that she saw everything and says that the referee ignored a foul. Then Seiha turns to Minami and asks if she hit the right shot. Minami says what is done and there is no point stressing about it. But Ukah still refuses to drop the argument. Minami admits that it was partly her fault because she was injured and could not play at her best. She adds that her leg feels much better now. As they continue, Arata thinks that pushing Minami like this might be unfair. He looks at her and Minami blushing again. He asks if she is done with her workout and if she has a fever. He warns her it might affect her performance. Minami becomes flustered and replies yes to everything without looking at him. Suddenly, Ukah throws a ball by accident and it heads straight for Minami. Arata catches it in time time and tells Ukah to be careful. Arata ends up standing very close to Minami, which makes her blush even harder. Arata asks Minami if she was okay. She blushes so much that her face looked like a tomato and says she is fine. She just cannot look him in the eye. She starts thinking of everything again. Ukah's "I love you" confession. Katono's confession. Arata arguing with Ukah. Minami keeps staring at Arata and wonders if something like this could ever really happen. We then see Katono also thinking about Arata alone in her room. Just then, Ukah walks in and says it has been a while since she came here. She compliments the room. Katono cuts to the point and asks why she is there. Ukah says that she wants to talk about Arata and tell her that she has been thinking about Katono's confession for a while and wonders if she was forced by someone. Is she serious about Arata? Does she really believe there is a future for them? Katono calmly replies that she knows everything, and also, she knows that Ukah also confessed to Arata. She says that she saw them in the gaming room getting close. Ukah was shocked and asks which gaming room she was talking about because she did not do anything. Katono replies that she was hiding behind the curtain and heard everything they were talking about. She says she thinks they are trying to keep her away from Arata, especially Ukah, so she can get closer to him. Ukah immediately panics and says, "No, you misunderstood everything." She says she told Arata that she likes him only as a brother, not as a lover. Arata understood that clearly. She adds that whatever happened in the gaming room was just an accident. She does not even remember the last time she properly talked to Arata. Hearing all this, Katono becomes extremely happy. She asks if Ukah really still sees Arata only as a big brother and not romantically. Ukah says yes, do not worry. She definitely does not see Arata that way. Katono's eyes shine with joy and she apologizes to Ukah and seems relieved. Ukah leaves, but something in her hand makes her pause. She looks at it and ends up thinking about Arata again. The next day at school, exam results were being announced in Ukah's class. Her grade appears on the screen. She got E. Ukah's face turns into pure panic. She looks like someone just unplugged her brain. In the next scene it was Saturday, a holiday. Arata is about to freshen up when he sees Ukah with her backpack. He asks her where she was going. Ukah casually says she is going to Yamanashi. Arata asks if she has lost her mind. He asks why she is randomly going there. Ukah confidently replies that she can go wherever she wants and says goodbye before leaving. Arata stands there wondering what her sudden plan was. He tells himself it is a 3-day holiday, so maybe she is going on a trip. We see the family continuing their daily routines. 3 days pass and Ukah still has not returned. Then we see the sisters at a train station. Bonri says everyone is staring at them. They all know Ukah is missing. The girls say they tried calling her but she never picks up. The scene shifts to Arata's school. 2 girls ask him if he knows anything about Ukah. She never misses school, and she has been absent for 3 days. Club activities were stuck too. Arata says he does not know. She is not answering his calls either. The girls tell him to inform them if he learns anything. After they leave, Arata starts thinking that Ukah is causing too much stress. First she left suddenly for Yamanashi, then disappeared for 3 days, and still has not returned home. The scene shifts back home. All the siblings sit together. Seiha says the 3rd day is almost over and she is getting scared. She quietly wonders what reason Ukah could have for not returning home. She asks Arata if he talked to her. Arata denies it, but Seiha teases him saying they are twins and still not talking. Arata replies he is surprised that Seiha seems to be worried about Ukah. He thought she would react normally. Then Bonri says she found Ukah's location. She is near Mount Fuji. Arata was shocked because Ukah told him something totally different. Seiha suggests that maybe the map gave the wrong location. Arata's mind goes into detective mode. Why did Ukah go to Mount Fuji? Did he mishear her or did she intentionally lie? Seiha tries to reassure him that Ukah is grown up and can take care of herself. Bonri agrees and they decide to have dinner. But Arata quietly sits there thinking about Ukah. Why would she stay at Mount Fuji for 3 days? And how could she not realize how worried everyone must be? The scene cuts to Ukah. She apologizes to the owner and asks if she can stay 1 more day. The owner says it is fine since there are not many tourists. Ukah mutters to herself, "I have to see something." Back at home, Arata was packing winter clothes. Bonri asks why he is packing. Arata says he is going to Mount Fuji to find Ukah. Bonri tells him it is late and he should leave in the morning. But Arata says do not worry, he will bring her back before school starts. He tells them to contact him if her location changes even a little. Bonri tries to stop him but Seiha enters and says they are leaving the responsibility of Ukah to him. Arata, trying to sound confident even though he was shaking inside, says not to worry. Finally, Arata reaches Mount Fuji and drags himself into the same hotel where Ukah has been staying. The moment she sees him, she looks like she just saw a ghost. She snaps at him, "What are you doing here?" Arata, despite being out of breath from hiking like an NPC side character for an hour, gives her a relieved smile and says he walked all this way to find her. Ukah, annoyed, asks why he even came. They argue back and forth like 2 toddlers who lost their snack coupons. Arata tells her that he came to bring her home. Ukah responds that she never called him, but Arata ignores that and ends up staying overnight anyway. Later, they get ready to sleep. Arata feels awkward because sharing a room with Ukah feels way too close after everything that has happened. His brain immediately flashes back to that gaming room incident where Ukah got way too close. He thinks to himself that the whole situation is awkward, but decides not to overthink it. Then Ukah suddenly says, "Look the other way. I need to change." Arata panics and spins around so fast that he nearly twists his neck and apologizes nonstop. Ukah asks why he is apologizing when she literally told him to look away. While she changes, Arata's mind starts going into weird directions. That is when he finally snaps at himself internally and thinks, "What am I even thinking?" Ukah finishes changing and lies down. Arata asks her why she is not going back to school. Her dream of becoming student president is about to crumble. Ukah calmly says, "Who told you I am going back to school?" Arata loses his patience and insists she has to go, but Ukah stays quiet. After a moment she whispers, "Do people really care about me?" Arata replies honestly that everyone worries about her. Every single day people talk about her at school and at home. He tries to lighten the mood by reminding her of their parents' first meeting at Mount Fuji. Dad carried mom on his back when she hurt her leg. It was so romantic, like a cheesy drama scene. Two strangers meet and end up becoming their parents. Then he hesitates and asks if she believes in soulmates and destiny. Ukah looks at him and asks, "Can soulmates be siblings too?" Arata almost stops breathing. He jumps and says, "Are you insane? What are you saying?" Ukah casually mentions that even Katono likes him in that way. Arata immediately shuts her down and tells her to stop thinking nonsense. He is about to ask why she came here in the first place, but sees she has already fallen asleep. He sighs and gently covers her with a blanket. The next morning, when Arata wakes up, Ukah was already gone. He groans, thinking this girl is truly a boss-level problem. Then he sees a note on the bed. It simply says, "I will get home before you." Meanwhile, Ukah was actually climbing up the mountain. Bonri calls Arata, furious that her location is on Mutin. Arata explains that Ukah disappeared early in the morning and left only a letter. Bonri checks the tracker and says it does not look like Ukah is trying to return home at all. Arata realizes that she is about to cause a disaster. He tells Bonri to call him immediately if anything changes and rushes out to search for her again. The scene shifts to Ukah. People nearby keep staring and whispering, wondering why this girl has been standing there for an hour. They even comment that she was standing in the same spot yesterday. Ukah looks at the pair of earrings she was holding and thinks, "What am I even doing? Will this fix anything? I miss school. Arata came all the way to get me. I should have gone with him." She starts climbing back down the mountain, but her mind was so distracted she does not focus on the trail. Soon she realizes that she has gone the wrong way. Every path looks the same. Suddenly, she slips and falls hard, injuring her leg badly, and now she cannot stand. She screams for help, but no one was around. Meanwhile, Arata has searched the entire area and comes back to the hotel, exhausted. He notices Ukah's bag was still there, untouched. Then Bonri remembers something important and tells Arata that a little while ago, Ukah's phone signal was detected near the top of the mountain. That immediately hits Arata like a brick. He realizes she is still up there somewhere. The scene flashes back to Ukah's 5th birthday when their father gifted her a pair of their mother's earrings. Those same earrings are now clutched in Ukah's trembling hand. Meanwhile, Ukah was completely exhausted. She was hungry, her leg hurts so much she cannot even move, her phone was dead too, and the weather was getting worse. She thinks to herself that no one is coming to save her. She feels hopeless enough to think she might actually die there. But then she glances at the earrings and in the reflection she sees Arata's face. She lifts her head and right there, standing like a soaked potato who forgot his Superman cape at home, is Arata. The story cuts to Ukah's past, showing moments where she used to laugh freely with her dad. Then we see a memory from a few days earlier. Ukah wanted to talk to her father but hesitated. She stood in the hallway, looking at him, but could not gather the courage and quietly walked away. Now in the present, when Arata finally reaches her, Ukah was stunned. She tries to stand but collapses again. Arata runs to her immediately and says he will carry her down. Ukah tries to act tough and says she can walk if he just shows her the way. Arata snaps back, telling her to stop pretending to be fine because she clearly is not. Embarrassed, Ukah finally climbs onto his back. She gives a shy smile and asks if she is too heavy. She quickly answers herself that she probably is not that heavy. Arata tells her she is actually really light. As he starts carrying her down, Arata thinks, so this is what dad felt when he carried mom. The path was rough, and soon heavy rain starts pouring down. Ukah, drenched and freezing, wonders how she ended up in this ridiculous situation. Meanwhile, Arata thinks that at least he found her. Then Ukah begins telling him the real reason she came to Mount Fuji. She says she saw a TikTok video that said if you touch a Mount Fuji memento and look at at the sky, you can talk to your family. She came because she wanted to talk to mom. Arata asks if she did meet her. Ukah cries and says maybe mom never came because she was never their real biological mother. She also says she cannot share this with anyone, not even dad, especially since he kept such a huge truth hidden for so long. She says she cannot face school anymore and everything feels strange now. Arata gently tells her that nothing has changed for him. Even if they are not related by blood, he still considers her his sister. Ukah says everything has changed for her. Then she asks how he even found her. Arata answers calmly that she may think they are not siblings, but he does. And because of that, no matter where she goes or what trouble she gets into, he will always come to find her. If she gets hurt, he will share her pain, and if anything troubles her, she can always talk to him. Hearing that overwhelms Ukah completely. At the same time, finally, Arata and Ukah reach their hotel again. Ukah receives first aid for her injury, and after resting for a while, they check out and begin heading home. Arata tells her to walk carefully, but Ukah laughs and tells him that he worries far too much. Ukah says she will walk however she can and jokes that she cannot stay on Arata's back forever. They begin moving forward and soon spot the rest of their siblings waiting ahead. The moment everyone sees Arata and Ukah together, they rush toward them with relief and excitement. Back home, they all step out of the car. Ukah tries waking Arata, but he does not respond. When she touches his face, she realizes that he has a high fever. Everyone panics. Cheyenne grabs him and carries him inside like a princess lift but without the romance. She lays him gently on the bed. The next day at school, Ukah's friends ask where she has been. She lies and says she went to visit some relatives and slipped, which caused her leg injury. One friend asks why Arata did not come to school. Ukah starts thinking how the gorilla caught a fever. Her thoughts throughout the entire day are only filled with Arata. Meanwhile at home, Bonri was cooking for Arata. Minami and Katono are doing homework nearby. Bonri asks who wants to take the food to Arata. Both girls jump up immediately and shout that they will go. They look at each other and blush. Bonri watches them, confused at first, then tells Minami to take the food while Katono helps her with the dishes. Bonri then whispers to Minami that they should keep Arata and Katono apart for a while because things could get complicated. Minami blushes even more. It is obvious she has started falling for Arata too. Seiha comes in and says Arata's fever seems better and he should return to school tomorrow. Just then, Ukah enters. The others immediately attack her with scolding. They tell her she should be taking care of Arata because he got sick because of her. If she had not gone to Mount Fuji, he would not have chased after her or gotten drenched in the rain. The scene shifts to Arata's room and Ukah was sitting beside him. She apologizes repeatedly. She says he got sick because of her, but she wants to tell him something. She says when he saved her that day, it actually made her very happy. She says she acts like she does not care, but when he said he does not need a reason to save someone, it meant a lot to her. She apologizes again and then says something she had always wanted to say to their mom. She says she really likes Arata. She admits she knows he probably only sees her as his little sister or his twin, but she thinks he is the perfect person for her. Then she says it. She tells Arata that she loves him. Ukah leans down and finally kisses him. She stands up slowly, smiles, and quietly apologizes before leaving the room. But here comes the twist. Arata was awake. He was never asleep. The story jumps to the next day. The entire Shionji family arrives at a rest house owned by their father. They were here to play golf. It has been years since their last visit. Everyone was walking around remembering the old days. Arata looks around and thinks that they have grown so much since then. While he was lost in thought, Bonri jumps out of nowhere and clings to him like a giant koala. She teases him as usual and Arata gets annoyed and tries to chase her away. He then spots Ukah and immediately remembers the kiss from the previous night. He feels something was not right. She confessed while he was supposedly asleep. That kiss was definitely not imaginary. He cannot figure out what is happening. Ukah walks up to him and asks if he is okay. Arata panics and blurts out that he might be a little carsick. Ukah looks surprised and says he has never been carsick before. Arata, still panicking, says it has happened now and tries to act normal. The scene shifts to Cheyenne who was heading somewhere mysterious. Then we cut back to Arata who is now in the shower still thinking about Ukah's kiss. He wonders if she is sick or sleepwalking or if something is wrong with her mind. Then he scolds himself because Ukah is not like that. Suddenly the door opens and Cheyenne walks in. He complains that Arata has been in the shower forever. Arata says it is the first time that has happened. Cheyenne then reveals he went to meet his real parents and met a man who claimed to be the real Shionji Ichi. Arata is shocked and asks if that is true. Cheyenne says yes, but he only met one person. Arata asks if Cheyenne ever wants to meet his real parents. He admits honestly that yes he does, but says the family he lives with now is the one that truly matters. Arata nods and says Cheyenne is acting just like he always does. Arata steps out of the bathroom and sees Ukah in the distance. He begins to approach her but Minami and Katono turn into security cameras and start watching him. He gives up and walks away. Night arrives and everyone gathers around for a barbecue. They chat and enjoy delicious food. Katono brings food specifically for Arata. Later that night, everyone goes to sleep. Ukah wakes up and notices Arata was not in his room. The scene shifts to the sauna where Arata was sitting alone, sweating and thinking deeply. As he keeps thinking, his mind drifts to Ukah again. That was enough to send him into panic mode. He sprints out of the sauna. Right outside, Ukah was sitting calmly. She comments that he stayed inside for exactly 5 minutes and a few seconds, like she had been timing him. Ukah looks at Arata and says he has gotten pretty weak. Arata freezes like someone just unplugged his brain. He wonders how long she has been sitting there waiting for him. Ukah says she has been there since he went into the sauna. Arata panics a little inside. He tries to walk away, but Ukah calls out and reminds him of their childhood sauna endurance contests. That memory hits Arata like an embarrassing flashback. He wonders why he keeps ending up in these awkward situations, and why his life feels like a never-ending reality show. Trying to keep his cool, he agrees to join her. They sit in the sauna together and Arata's brain goes into meltdown mode. He tries to act calm, but inside he was wondering why he cannot just breathe and act like a normal human being. Then Ukah suddenly asks him about his plans for getting a girlfriend. The question hits him harder than the heat. He asks why she wants to know. Ukah says she is simply curious. Arata says nothing is happening right now. Arata finally steps out of the sauna, looking drained. He wonders when Ukah's sauna endurance became so intense. She used to tap out in minutes, but now she seems unbeatable. Then Ukah asks about Lala, the girl Arata used to like. Arata says he does not have any feelings left for her. She has a boyfriend and he genuinely hopes they are happy. He says that no one is ever going to fall in love with a fool like him anyway. The moment those words come out, Ukah suddenly lights up with a bright smile, says something cheerful, and leaves before Arata can even blink. He is left standing there confused, wondering what just happened. Ukah then sits alone in the bathroom thinking deeply. She realizes she has been acting too clingy with Arata lately, and even she does not know what she is doing anymore. She remembers a childhood scene where she and Arata sat in the sauna talking honestly about everything. That memory brings her back to the present. She blushes and realizes she might have liked Arata ever since they were kids and calls herself a fool. Outside, Arata sits alone and thinks seriously about everything. He decides he needs to put an end to whatever is happening between him and Ukah, otherwise it will turn into another Katono situation. He cannot allow that again. Just then, Minami appears out of nowhere. Arata was surprised and asks why she is awake so early. Minami says she wants to take him somewhere. The next moment, they arrive at a flower garden. Arata immediately realizes Minami brought him there on purpose. He notices she was wearing a skirt for the first time instead of her usual sports clothes. He thinks she has really grown up. They walk through the garden together, admiring the flowers. Minami thanks him for helping her when she sprained her ankle. Arata shrugs it off like it is nothing. He then notices many couples around them and instantly becomes uncomfortable. Minami senses it and says she wants to ask him a question. Minami looks at Arata and says, "If you don't want to answer, it's okay." She takes a breath and asks, "What's your ideal type of wife?" Arata freezes so hard his soul leaves his body for a second. His brain does a hard reboot. She quickly adds, "Just the atmosphere, you know?" It felt like the right moment to ask. Arata thinks for a moment and says, "Someone I feel comfortable being uncomfortable with, someone who understands me." Minami nods quietly, like she just got confirmation from the universe. Arata suddenly notices a price tag still attached to her skirt. Minami tries to yank it off but fails miserably. Arata offers to help, but even he struggles. Finally, he gives up and says, "I'll just bite it off," bending down to remove it with his teeth. The both of them explode into full embarrassment mode. Later, Arata takes pictures of Minami as they walk around the garden. He keeps thinking, what's going on with her today? She's acting completely different. Then Minami just drops a bombshell, "I like someone." Arata's brain blue screens instantly. Everything suddenly makes sense. The question about his ideal wife, the skirt, the garden, the atmosphere, all of it. He says, "I don't know if my answer helped you." Minami smiles softly. "It did. A lot." That stuns him and Minami walks ahead to the bell tower, her emotions clearly swirling. Meanwhile, she buys something small for Arata while he stands there thinking, "I guess it's good Minami likes someone. But am I okay being just her older brother?" And then, like clockwork, his mind jumps straight to Ukah again. Frustrated, he screams out loud like the protagonist of a tragic anime. The next scene shows the whole family at a waterfall, having a blast. Arata and Shine arrive and watch the girls having fun. Shine says, "You're so lucky, all 6 of them basically look at you." Arata panics. "What are you even saying?" Shine smirks. jokes. You know exactly what I mean. Ukah jumps from a rock into the water. Seiha and Shine tease her. Minami calls Arata over and says, "Let's jump from that rock together." Arata agrees and they jump. Minami keeps staring at him, clearly lost in her feelings. Then Bonri calls everyone for lunch. Arata spots Seiha standing awkwardly alone without her swimsuit top. He blushes like a tomato and rushes to give it back. She shrugs casually while he nearly collapses from embarrassment. Then Bonri drags Arata into the water and ends up falling on top of him. Their bodies were way too close, and Arata's brain shuts down again. He thinks, if I didn't know we weren't blood related, I'd never be this flustered. They drift near the waterfall, and the pressure knocks him over and Bonri apologizes while Arata scolds her. Then she asks, "What will you do if I confess to you?" But the noise from the waterfall muffles everything, and he doesn't hear a word. Meanwhile, Katono watches this forbidden romance from a distance, getting jealous. Later, Arata goes to the car to grab something, and Katono approaches him, asking if he can accompany her to the vending machine. He agrees. As they walk, he realizes that she wants to talk but is too anxious. At the vending machine, she finally admits everything. She says she said something cruel to Ukah, which pushed Ukah into leaving for Mount Fuji. She says she never had any responsibilities growing up. She remembers Arata saving her from drowning when they were little. She admits she wished that if he weren't her brother, things could have been different. Arata tries to calm her down, shocked by how much she's bottling up. They return to the group. Everyone asks why they took so long and Arata lies about vending machine being broken. They then visit a nearby church for the light show. It's their last night at the farm. Arata walks alone, thinking, I should talk to Ukah. Maybe that kiss was a dream, maybe I imagined it. But then he overhears Katono, Minami, and Ukah secretly talking. Katono apologizes and they forgive her. Then she says seriously, I really like Arata. Arata's soul leaves his body again. Minami says she likes Arata too and that she's certain now. Ukah also admits she likes Arata. The three girls decide to have a healthy competition for him, promising they'll still stay sisters no matter who wins his heart. Arata stands behind the wall, shocked beyond belief. His whole reality was glitching. Finally, we see someone writing everything in a notebook, the mysterious narrator watching their story unfold. And that's how Shionji Family Children Season 1 ends. 3 confessions, 1 deeply confused main character, and a family drama that escalated into emotional fire.